Pokemon trainers, welcome back to Pokemon Battle City. Marty here with the second part of my how to play Pokemon video tutorial, and we are going to continue where we left off. In the last video we covered pretty much the basic rules and ended with the deck. The next part of the video is going to talk about the discard pile, hand, active spot, bench, stadium cards, prizes, energies, Pokemon, and the trainer cards. Also, something else I want to add in there is the special conditions, which is something I want to touch on. Also, in the first video I talked about the Pokemon rotation, so if you are interested in seeing which sets are still in rotation, go to Pokemon.com, the 2015 season format rotation. And something to keep in mind is that the rotation is going to start on September 3rd of 2014. So for more details and more information, go to Pokemon.com, and there you'll find more information on how to play Pokemon, game rotations, and events happening in the local area. So here we go. Alright, the discard pile. Okay, the discard pile is pretty much where you put all the cards that have been used or the Pokemon that have been knocked out. This is the discard pile, and this is the example I have of my discard pile. During my turn, I used a Starling Megaphone and a pair of roller skates. Let's take a look at what roller skates do. It is a trainer item card. Pretty much flip a coin. If heads, draw 3 cards. I used it. Now it goes in the discard pile. Next part is the hand. Okay, pretty much your hand is where you keep all your available cards. Try to keep these cards hidden from your opponent. The reason why is because if your opponent is able to see your hand, he'll be able to plan a little bit more on what he should do or not do based on what you have in your hand. So try to keep your hand as hidden as you can, unless there's a card that makes you reveal it. The active spot. The active spot is where your Pokemon you pick to battle or attack will go. This is the only Pokemon that can attack unless you switch or retreat. And what I have here is an example of a trainer item card called Switch. Now, the bench. Right here is where the bench is located, underneath of your active Pokemon. The bench is where you keep up to 5 Pokemon in reserve. These Pokemon can be in reserve for attacking, support, or just for later on use. You can always add more Pokemon once a spot opens up, guys. Or you can always switch or retreat if you have the proper cards or energies. Now, as you can see here in my example, I have only 3 bench Pokemon, meaning that I have 2 spots open. If you look at my hand, I have a basic Pokemon, another Deoxys. So during my turn, if I want to, I can grab Deoxys, place them on my bench, leaving me 1 more spot in case I get another bench Pokemon. Now, in my strategy here, my Deoxys I use as support. I try my best to keep him in the bench as a support Pokemon only. Now, prizes. Like I mentioned in my first video, your prizes are 6 random cards that are drawn from the beginning of the game from your deck, and they're placed face down off to the left. Now, I've had new players ask me that also have told me that they thought that prizes were kind of like for keeps. So pretty much whenever your Pokemon got knocked out, your opponent actually grabbed a prize from your side of the map. So no, that's definitely not the case here. What happens is that when you knock out your opponent's Pokemon, you grab a prize card and you add it to your hand to help you on your next turn, pretty much. So pretty much 6 unknown cards from your deck placed off to the side. They are placed face down before each game and can only be collected when you knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon. Once you collect all 6 of your prizes, you win. So there you have it. Next, energies. Alright, like I mentioned in the first video, energies are super important. Energies pay for your Pokemon's attack and retreat costs. There are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different types of Pokemon energy cards. There are Fire, Lightning, Fairy, Grass, Fighting, Dark, Steel, Psychic, and Water. These are considered basic energies, and you can have as many of them as you want in your deck. And on the very top, it'll say energy plus the color of that energy. There are special types of energies. Now, these special types of energies are unfortunately limited to the 4-of-a-kind rule. I have some examples here to share with you. The first one is a rainbow energy. This rainbow energy here, when attached to a Pokemon, can be any type of energy. The drawback will hit your Pokemon when you attach it for the first time. So if I decide to, I were to add it to my Thundurus, it can be any energy I want, but now I have to add 10 damage to my Deoxys, a one-time feat. The next type of special energy card is a Team Plasma energy. Now, Team Plasma energy is a energy card that for my strategy I definitely need. In order for my Lugia to use its powerful Plasma Gale attack, I have to be able to discard a Plasma energy. If I do not have one of these attached to my Lugia, then he is unable to attack. The next type of special energy is what's called a double colorless energy. What this card does is that it covers two costs of an attack as long as they're colorless. So let's take a look at Lugia. Lugia is a normal Pokemon or colorless Pokemon, and his first attack and only attack is Plasma Gale. It requires 4 colorless energies. So that double colorless plus the Plasma energy plus the rainbow energy equal to 4 energies, which I could attach to Lugia and then use this attack for Plasma Gale. Let's take a look at the Stadium card. The Stadium card is pretty much a trainer item card that is placed between both players, just like in my example up here, and affects the game and both players. For example, here I have chosen Frozen City for my deck, and the reason why is because it is quite a powerful card and works towards my advantage or to my advantage. Let's take a look at Frozen City here. Whenever any player attaches an energy from his or her hand to one of his or her Pokemon, excluding Team Plasma Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So pretty much Frozen City is a free attack for me. All the Pokemon I use in my deck are Team Plasma, so they do not receive the 20 damage when I place an energy from my hand to that Pokemon. Now chances are my opponent doesn't have Team Plasma Pokemon. So whenever he adds an energy to his or her Pokemon, he will have to place 20 damage. So pretty much it works to my advantage and my strategy. So in order to replace that Stadium card, my opponent must use a different Stadium card. Now let's say that I draw for my turn and I were to draw another Frozen City. I can't use this card to replace my other Frozen City, because if you take a look at the rules at the bottom, it says here that this card stays in play and can only be discarded when another different Stadium card is put into play. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Pokemon now. As I mentioned earlier before, your deck must have at least one basic Pokemon, and for the example, I use Mr. Squirtle here. He's a basic Pokemon. Now, basic Pokemon are crucial and important for your deck. They are the first step in the evolution chain for many decks, and also they come in different types and forms. Now, I have a couple examples I want to show you, and here I have a basic Pokemon, but this basic Pokemon is a little bit different. Here we got Mewtwo EX. At the very top left, you can see that he is a basic Pokemon, which means he does not evolve from any other Pokemon. So he is the first of the evolution chain. In the middle, you'll see his name, Mewtwo EX. Now, for those that are wondering what an EX is, an EX Pokemon is a extremely powerful card, which pretty much means that the Pokemon is going to have higher amounts of health points and stronger attacks. Now, at the very top right, you'll see his total HP of 170, and next to that, you'll see a